we don't have anything to show. The ganglia, vestibular ganglion is located in the internal acoustic meatus, so over here, yeah. And ganglion, cochlear ganglion or spiral ganglion is located in the special canal around the modiolus, so in the cochlea, yeah. So these cells have peripheral and central processes. Peripheral run to the receptors. Receptors we have where cochlea in the it is organ of cortiospiral organ, yeah, in the cochlea. About the vestibula where they located ampullar crest and macula of circular macula of utricle. So this is receptors. Central processes run from the cochlea and from here and form the nerves, cochlear nerve and vestibular nerve. They join. Exit the internal acoustic meatus and then enter the brain, yeah, where it is next to the facial nerve, pontocerebellar angle, yeah.
Posterior side.
And then we have cochlear part to the two nuclei we have, superior and inferior, yeah, or dorsal, how they call dorsal ventral cochlear nerves. And then vestibular for nuclei, vestibular nuclei. And from there will be pathways which run in the directions which we discussed already. Okay, so this is vestibular cochlea. Now, 9. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve.
10 मिनट हो गया है देख लियो
There is actually a picture what I gave you, yes, over there. Okay, I can draw something like just to have it. Glossopharyngeal nerve. It's mixed, yeah. It has motor part and fibers. This will be parasympathetic fibers and sensory. The biggest part is sensory, yeah. And sensory part innervates a lot of things. This is tympanic cavity, then glossopharyngeal it's called, so therefore it will be tongue, the posterior 1/3, it will be pharynx, sensory innervation, tonsils, palating arches, yeah, palate, and then carotid sinus and carotid body, yeah, so this is sensory innervation. Then parasympathetic innervates parotid gland, yeah. And motor innervates muscle of the pharynx, which is called stylopharyngeal. So this nerve, if we draw like this schematically, yeah. So this will be rhamnoid fossa, like this, yeah. Then sensory.
yes.
We have nerve exits where 9, 10, and 11 all together, group of vagus they are called. Behind the olive they originate, yeah, behind the olive from the medulla, and then all 3 nerves leave the skull through the jugular foramen, and in the jugular foramen we have superior and inferior ganglion, yeah. These are sensory ganglia. We can draw like this, for example. This is sensory nucleus, okay. Sensory ganglia over here, yeah, superior, inferior. Okay, they belong to the trunk of this nerve. We enter this rhamnoid fossa. Here we have what? Again, solitary nucleus, yeah? Solitary nucleus, the same what we had. It is visceral and taste. We come to the middle part, which is part which serves for the glossopharyngeal. So then,
visceral
now,
sensation.
We can draw these branches of this nerve. Like first, from the level of the inferior ganglion, we will have tympanic nerve, okay, tympanic nerve, which runs into the tympanic cavity through the special canaliculus, and in the tympanic cavity we have plexus, sensory plexus, tympanic plexus, and then this nerve has not only sensory fibers but also parasympathetic, which come from the inferior ganglia, salivatory nucleus, yeah, so like this we have here, then over here, and then from the tympanic plexus starts lesser tympanic nerve, which has parasympathetic fibers, which need to reach the ganglion, which will be ganglion otic. from the otic ganglion, we will see later. So let's describe this nerve, lesser petrosal. So lesser petrosal runs from the tympanic cavity here parallel to the greater petrosal. It exits through the hiatus for the lesser petrosal nerve, more lateral to the greater, then runs to the in the groove for the same nerve and comes to the foramen ovale and exits through the foramen ovale, these fibers, and here under the foramen ovale we have this ganglion, otic ganglion. What else do we have here under the foramen ovale? Mandibular nerve, okay, trigeminal. And the postganglionic fibers from this otic ganglion will join the nerve, which is trigeminal. This mandibular comes over here, and there will be auriculotemporal nerve, which we just discussed. It from the trigeminal parasympathetic postganglionic fibers, girls, they run together with the fibers of the auriculotemporal nerve and reach this way the parotid gland. Yeah. So this is tympanic nerve. This is lesser petrosal nerve. Yeah. This is tympanic plexus. Okay. So then there will be one motor fibers actually. It is called by the muscle which it innervates, stylopharyngeal. So from the motor nucleus, which is somewhere here, the motor, which is motor, will be ambiguous. Yeah, ambiguous. It is also long one, and from the upper part of the ambiguous run these fibers, and then it runs downward and will branch this stylopharyngeal branch. Yeah, motor. All other branches are sensory. So one runs from the inferior ganglion, just from the trunk of this nerve downward, along the internal carotid artery and common carotid, and reaches the place where this is internal carotid artery. Yeah? So here the bifurcation, but opposite. Okay, never mind. That will be inferior here, here external, internal, here external, and this will be common carotid. Okay, this way. So it runs along the internal carotid, like this, following it, and then reaches the place where we have bifurcation. This is common carotid, and at the beginning of the internal carotid we have dilation, which is called carotid sinus, and then in this area also we will have group of the special cells which form carotid body, yeah. So here we have in the wall of the artery baroreceptors, here hemoreceptors. So then these receptors monitor the pressure and CO2 composition, like percentage in the blood. So and then sends information by the sensory fibers to the brain, how to regulate the pressure. So then also what do we have? Which branches? Here pharyngeal branch, yeah. Then it will be tonsillar branch or branches, and then lingual. So these are simple sensory fibers. Tympanic, pharyngeal, yes, tonsillar, and lingual. So pharyngeal innervates gives sensory innervation for the pharynx, tonsillar for palatine arch and this palatine tonsil, lingual posterior 1/3 with the general sensation and taste sensation both. Okay, so this is glossopharyngeal nerve. So what you should understand also maybe, so taste fibers run from the tongue like this to the inferior ganglion and then to the solitary nucleus, and other somatic sensory fibers from here, from here run to the other ganglion, which is spinal ganglion of the trigeminal nerve, okay? But if you don't say this, it will be acceptable. But in general, the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal receives somatic sensation through the facial nerve from the ear, then from the glossopharyngeal and vagus. So this is glossopharyngeal. Now vagus nerve, okay?
The biggest one.
Yes, okay, this is the biggest one. So this nerve, vagus nerve, so has a very long part, big part, which is sensory and parasympathetic, and smaller part, which is motor, somatic motor, yeah? Okay. Так. Somatic motor innervates only what I don't need it actually. Innervates only striated muscles, yeah? And striated muscles we have just from the palate to up to the esophagus, yeah? So not many of them. When we have branches of the vagus nerve below the esophagus, there will not be found this somatic, yes? So just parasympathetic and sensory. Так, окей. Так, сердце. Так. Okay, so which nuclei does it have? Three kinds of nuclei, yeah?
Vagus.
Let's get this one. There, look at this. Okay, so this will be a solitary